WJCL 22 News at 5. Friends, family, and the country bid farewell to former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. We have team coverage of the service and her impact on Habitat for Humanity. A great update for Savannah State University students. The hot water issues in the dorms have been fixed right as overnight temperatures are dropping. Welcome to WJCL 22 News at 5. I'm Riley Miller. We want to start with a check of your forecast. Here's a live look outside at Hardeeville. You can see a gorgeous sky out there, but a chilly day. We want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Nelson. And Jeremy, you could definitely feel that cold when you opened the door this morning.
Yeah, average highs are in the mid to upper 60s. We were only in the mid to upper 50s.
Today, during the celebration of her 96 years of life, invited guests heard a church choir and a local artist sing some of Rosalynn Carter's favorite gospel songs. WJCL 22 News' Greg Coy is live in Plains tonight. And Greg, you spoke to one of the soloists who said it was an amazing honor to sing for the family.
WJCL 22 News. Live in Plains, Georgia, I'm Greg Coy. Riley, back over to you.
All right, Greg, thanks so much. WJCL 22 News' Lydia Blackstone was in downtown Plains as the family walked behind the motorcade of Mrs. Carter, taking her home one last time. You can watch our full coverage of the Rosalynn Carter funeral on our website, WJCL.com, or on the very local app. It is free in the Google Play and Apple App Stores. Closer to home, the legacy of Rosalynn Carter lives on in the Coastal Empire. Development Manager of Habitat for Humanity of the Coastal Empire, Ava Claire Maddox, says the group will remember Mrs. Carter for her commitment to service. She says both Mrs. and Mr. Carter are often mistaken as the organization's founders because of their dedication to the mission. Maddox shares she has a personal tie to the Carters, with the first family writing her congrats letter after she graduated college and began working for Habitat. The Carters never made a stop at this specific chapter, but there is a legend. Carter announced his run for president just down the street at the bar Pinky Masters. Right now, students at Savannah State who live in the University Village now have hot water in their dorm after going without for nearly a month. Hot water supply came on for students throughout the day. The university says crews worked overnight to install the temporary boiler needed to warm up the water. Students say it took a long time, but they're grateful they have hot water again. The issue was only at the University Village, which are apartment-style dorms that can hold up to 700 students. So far, no word on when a permanent boiler will be installed. Georgia's gas tax suspension ends today, and that means we might be in for a price hike statewide. WJCL's AJ Sisson tells us by how much and the push to keep the suspension in place. The battle for second place shifts towards South Carolina's Nikki Haley in the GOP primaries. But will she be able to dethrone frontrunner Donald Trump? Coming up, the latest from the campaign trail. Plus, home prices still at record highs, why experts say high interest rates aren't dropping sale values. Right now on WJCL 22 News at 5:30, former First Lady Rosalynn Carter honored today in a tearful service. We bring you inside the church to hear from her friends and family.
It's the final day of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. I'm Christopher Salas in Washington with the latest on efforts to get a new deal and free American hostages.
Plus, Congressman George Santos in the crosshairs. First, calls for his resignation, then indictments, and now the push to kick him out of Congress. What's next for the representative? But first, here's a check of your forecast. This is a live look outside at Tybee Island. A pretty chilly day to be out on the beach. I don't see a single person out there. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Nelson. And Jeremy, I'd say that's a good call. Not a great beach day today.
No, we do have a little better weather coming in terms of temperatures by.
Today is the final day of memorial services for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. Her family paid their final respects before she's buried at the Carter family residence in Plain, Georgia. White House correspondent Caitlin Norwood joins us now. And Caitlin, what can you tell us about this private service?
Riley,
Caitlin, thank you. You can watch our full coverage of the Rosalynn Carter funeral on our website, WJCL.com, or on the very local app. It is free in the Google Play and Apple App Stores. Economic growth in the U.S. was even stronger in the third quarter than previously estimated. That fact showing the economy's remarkable resilience in the face of elevated inflation and high borrowing costs. Gross domestic product, the broadest measure of economic output, rose at a yearly rate of 5.2% from July through September. That's according to the Commerce Department's new estimate released this morning. Congressman George Santos's days as a lawmaker appear to be numbered. The freshman lawmaker is facing a vote to expel him from the House after an ethics report accused him of stealing money from his campaign for personal use. ABC's Rachel Bade has more from Capitol Hill. A U.S. military Osprey aircraft crashed off the coast of a Japanese island. A total of 6 people were believed to be on board. The U.S. Air Force has confirmed a V-22 Osprey went down off the coast of Yakushima Island. According to Japan's Coast Guard, the accident happened Wednesday afternoon. A patrol boat and aircraft were sent to the scene. One person was recovered and taken to a hospital with no vital signs. Numerous Osprey crashes have been reported over the years, including one in August when 3 U.S. Marines were killed and several others were injured during military exercises in Australia.
We'd like to see the pause extended because what it has enabled, first and foremost, is hostages being released. It's also enabled us to surge humanitarian assistance into the people of Gaza who so desperately need it.
At this hour, Hamas is releasing some of the 12 hostages set to be freed today, while Israel is set to free some 30 Palestinian prisoners. It's the final day of a temporary ceasefire between Israel and the militant group, and there are efforts to extend the pause in fighting. Christopher Salas is in Washington. And Christopher, what do we know about the push to continue the pause? Victoria, thank you. Measles cases are on the rise among kids. Coming up, what local doctors want you to know about protecting your family. A shootout in South Fulton, Georgia, leaves a suspect dead. Officers say they shot the suspect while responding to a sexual assault call yesterday. Authorities say the suspect fired at officers first, prompting them to also begin shooting. No officers were hurt. Police responding to a call of shots fired in Port Royal today. It happened around 10 this morning on Waddell Road. Port Royal police tell us they learned from witnesses a passenger in a black compact car shot at another vehicle it was following. Both vehicles fled to Beaufort before witnesses lost sight of the car. No injuries or property damage has been reported. If you know anything, you're asked to contact Port Royal Police. Home prices in the U.S. continued to increase in September, marking the 8th consecutive month on the rise, according to data released Tuesday. Mortgage rates remained above 7% in September, but historically low inventory continued to raise home prices. In fact, they remain at an all-time high in Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, and several other cities. Now to the race for president and what many political pundits call the race for second place in the Republican primary. Nikki Haley getting a new boost as Ron DeSantis prepares for a highly unusual debate with a Democrat. ABC's Lionel Moyes explains. Now for a full check of your forecast, here is a live look outside at the Savannah River. Look at that sunset, just absolutely picture perfect. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Nelson. And Jeremy, I like to look at that shot, but I have stayed inside pretty much all day. It's cold out there.
Yeah, we have the cold hitting us right now. We have one more frigid night ahead. We're